Good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Can you believe Tuesday already? Don't forget to tune in this morning beginning at 7 o'clock as we'll bring you the Scotty Ray Report with Scotty Ray and Odie. Our special guest this morning will be our sheriff. He'll be here. Ward Calhoun joins us in the studio this morning. If you've had a question you've been dying to talk to him about, make sure to tune in. He'll be answering questions, and we've got a lot to discuss today. So I do hope you'll join us for all that beginning sharply at 7. We'll be on that. A lot of the headlines that's going on across America coming up as well this morning. I want to bring this up as we look at radar. Let's look at what's happening north of here, the threat of what's going to be happening. The bad weather is not going to be in our area. We are going to be windy. Let's show you radar right now. If you'll see all this tan color, this is a wind advisory that's in effect today. And as you'll see here, this is going to be going on through 9 o'clock. All this area across all the way to Montgomery, Birmingham. As we get north of Nashville, you get into the Bowling Green, Evansville, Indiana area, all the way up through Indianapolis, Columbus, Toledo. Those areas is where we could see some tornadic activity. It missed us this time. There was a lot of discussion of people guessing that it would be here, but way north of us, as it has stayed true to that. That's good. We don't wish anybody bad weather, but it's not in our area for today. We'll be looking at your local forecast as well in a moment, plus all the things that are shaping America this morning. And boy, there's a lot. We're going to go over all that. As always, we have to scrape away the bad and make a feel-good moment. We've got that for you. Let's go out to Collinsville now to the First Baptist Church.
If you've grown up in the South, you've probably participated in a bottle rocket war at some point in time in your life. And no, I'm not advocating that's a smart thing to do or that it's time well spent. I'm just acknowledging the fact that most of us, usually as teenagers, had the bright idea to get a bunch of people together and shoot these mini missiles at each other. Very rarely did anyone ever get hit, but even if they did, it was even rarer that it popped or exploded on them. But here's the thing, did you know that spiritually speaking, we face attacks every day? Ephesians 6:16 says this, "In every situation, take up the shield of faith with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one." The evil one, Satan, his dominion of demons, are constantly flinging temptation, accusation, doubt, and shame upon every believer. He has no power of the Lord, so his feeble efforts are at best to try to distract those who belong to the Lord Jesus Christ. See, in the day and time in which Paul is writing, there were those who would know from a real life standpoint what he was talking about. See, it was common practice for those fighting in war to shoot arrows that were dipped in cloth and lit on fire, seeking to burn up the opposition and their equipment. The solution was a certain type of shield, a thurios in the Greek, that was really big, covered in metal, and dipped in water. For us, our shield is a shield of faith. This faith here refers to a trust and belief in the Lord to protect and deliver us. Trust me, the enemy will come with attacks. The question is, are you holding up your shield, the shield of faith? Let the Lord fight your battles for you. And if you've never trusted in Jesus as Savior, maybe it's time to take up that shield and enter the fight. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hope you enjoyed that. Currently, it's 64 as we wait for a high. You guessed it, of 83. It's going to be perfect weather today. Tomorrow we'll get some rain. Those details coming up in a few moments. As we look at what's shaping across America, and sometimes we go a little bit further, let's go to the UK this morning. If it happens there, it's most likely to happen here, isn't it? Well, when it comes to movies anyway. Anybody remember the Mary Poppins movie? And I'm talking the original, not some new made-up remake. The original, Dick Van Dyke. Yep, they are going to put an age rating on it now. For years, it's just been a non-rated movie. It didn't hurt anyone. But they have dug deep, the critics have, and determined that it uses language that it shouldn't. It was referring to somewhere in the movie about a guy that cleaned a chimney that had smut on him. And they referred to him, what is the word? Hottentots. Supposedly that's a bad word somewhere, and, well, they've decided to put an age limit on it. Mary Poppins. If it happens there, expect it to come here. They're going to go through every movie that ever existed to make it sound bad. Be prepared for that. This is not something that is made up. Beverly Hills, I guess we could call it Beverly Hills 90210 Police Department. They're investigating the local high school there as we see this, and this is going to be a bigger problem that America knows what to deal with. AI, artificial intelligence. Students are reporting that nude photos are being generated of them and passed through school. It's not them. Same as the Taylor Swift thing that happened with that. We're going to see more and more of this. Bad folks cannot be turned loose with something good. Y'all know that as well as I do. Expect more of this to happen. As we look at this, I didn't realize that this even had happened in Alabama outside the Attorney General's office. An explosive device was detonated outside the Alabama Attorney General's office. They were investigating this. That was news to me. That somehow or another slipped by me. Do you remember the student that we mentioned that was strangled to death by a fellow classmate in college? Do y'all remember that? Campsville University is where all of that happened in Kentucky. Police now are releasing more information on this. He was strangled to death. He was a part of a wrestling squad there at the university, and a teammate did that. There has been an arrest. We don't know what prompted it and why. We go to Police Gone Bad Department, and we go to Chicago. An ex-policeman, I'd like to point that out, is being sentenced for forcing women to perform, acts. We'll leave it at that while he was on duty. Probably a get-out-of-jail type card thing. It's bad. We move to our next one as we move across, and we go to Australia on this. And if it happened in Australia, it can happen anywhere. As we're talking about police and things that have gone on, we have, I guess the best way to put this is it's a homosexual couple that were both found dead. As police investigated the murder, it became more and more apparent there was more to this. A policeman has been arrested for this in connection with it. He had dated one of them, and it sounds as though it was a jealousy fit. He took them both out. He has been arrested. In Australia is where that went on. And sometimes you read, and you're not given all the information that goes with it. And I'm sure this is one of those cases. If you read between the lines, or if you just read what it says to begin with, you think one thing, but it could be others. As we go to Calvin University, and this is deep in Michigan, the university president has had to resign after the report got an inappropriate conduct from text messaging. Now, your first thought is, well, this has something to do with maybe something sexual. It never stated that. The more you dig into this, he may have just told somebody he's going to whoop them. It doesn't say one way or the other. But he's had to resign because it was inappropriate for a president of the college to act such as that. That's what we know. Biden, well, he made it to one of the late-night talk shows. Seth Meyers. I've actually never heard of him. But he must be big. That's a little bit after my bedtime. I can't hang with that. But he's joking that, well, Trump is as old as he is. They may be close in age, but they certainly don't act alike, do they? We see that a Venezuelan migrant is charged with sexually assaulting a child in Virginia. When will the United States get the message that we need to shut down our border, and anybody that comes across has a background search done? When will we learn? As a matter of fact, I read where I think it's up to, is it 6 out of 10 every Americans now think that the border needs to be closed? It's getting high. It went the other way for the last 3 to 4 years. We see how well that's working out. We will get back to that story there. Let's see here. What else? What's going on? I'll save that coming up. Don Jr., they had to send a hazmat unit to his house. They received an envelope with a white, powdery substance and a death threat. I'm sure that happens more often than we even know. Not just on the Republican side, but probably on all spans of government, people that need help. There's a lot of them out there. No one was hurt during this, and that's a good thing. Wheel of Fortune getting slammed again. Anybody like that show? Seems to be real popular. And I don't watch enough of it. I'm not as good at it. I'm more of your Family Feud type guy. I can come up with one of those answers, but I could never solve the puzzle. It's just not me. But they are getting slammed that the contestant got the word out before the buzzer hit. They lost $50,000. Now, I didn't see the show, so I'm not sure. Maybe many of you have watched it and loved that. There's nothing worse to me sitting next to somebody on the couch and they can answer every bit of that and you don't have a clue what they're talking about. I just can't do it. It's not my thing. Let's see what else is happening. Kroger, and we all know the word Kroger. We don't know as much here in the Deep South the name Albertson. It's another supermarket, but it looks as though the merger could impact the 24 election in Nevada and Arizona. How so? The Biden president's trying to stop it because they don't want the food prices to come down. Well, they're trying to bring the food prices down. Let me reword that. It's a lot of that because Americans do vote with what's in their pocket. Now, I know you're thinking, well, what happened last time when gas was $1.69? I don't have an answer for that. But for the most part, when you're broke, you don't want the same guy. It doesn't matter whether it's Republican or Democrat in office. When you don't have loose change in your pocket to buy extra hamburger on the weekend for the kids, you generally don't vote for the guy that's in office. And, of course, they're trying their best to bring the food prices down now. What brought that up? Gas prices. It affects everything. When gas goes up, every single item that you purchase goes up. Delivery fees, shipping, we all know that. Billy, how are you doing this morning? Also, Chet Parker's up joining us. Lita, Joyce Snowden Godwin, how are you doing? All the way from Tennessee this morning. Jerome Emery joining us there, Kemper County. Rob, Philadelphia. Crescent Lake gets in there. Debbie, how are you doing there? We're coming right back with your weather forecast in just a second. Don't miss out on this, so we'll know together what's going on with all these forecasts. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Downtown Meridian is thriving with a fresh look, and now it's getting a new neighbor. Toyota of Meridian is now open under new hometown leadership. We're bringing automotive knowledge and experience home with a focus on improved customer satisfaction and all new pricing. Toyota of Meridian is excited to serve the Queen City and exceed your expectations.
I'm Trinard Rush, and I want to invite you to Toyota Meridian, where hometown pride drives excellence.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a 2022 Jeep Wrangler? Or a 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport with only 40,000 miles. A GMC Denali. Or a 2024 Silverado 2500. Drop in today and find the car that you're looking for. They're packed with low-mileage cars and trucks.
The low-profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we get into our forecast, big thank you to EMEPA. Our record highs and record lows. Let's go back to 21. Y'all need to get on Odie for trying to make me laugh. 2021, it was a high of 86 today. Our coldest day on record was 1965 when we had a low of 21. Boy, was that cool. As we go back, we see that what we've got here, the weather, 81 degrees is what's expected today. Could be 83. They've upped that just a few minutes ago with the forecast. As we go to Columbus, 79 to 80. And down the riverbanks, we'll see somewhere between 82 to 83, just like it is here in the Meridian area. As we go east into Bama, we'll see that Tuscaloosa should see 82 as well, 83 in Demopolis, Alabama as well. As we glance here, this is what's going to happen with the wind. And I urge you, do not burn today. It is not worth it in any shape, form, or way, as we'll see here that we've got extra winds here in the Meridian area. Gusts of up to 40 to 50 miles an hour, 25 to 35 sustained winds. This will go all the way to the state line up toward Tennessee. South of I-20, as we get into Clark County and Jasper County, we'll see that as a level 1, but still gusts of 30 to 40. What does that tell us? Forest fires could happen easily if you were to light something, and also we could see some power outages. We saw a little bit of that overnight with trees breaking. Yeah, those old limbs and stuff that'll crack and break and fall on a power line. And we have this the same for Alabama. Breezy, look at that. Gusts of 40 miles an hour for most of Alabama as they put that out. And again, this will be through about 9 as well this morning. Something to think on there. Let's look at this as we see that the temperatures, look at this. Northern Mississippi, that is hot, stretching into Tennessee, Georgia, and there's nothing breaking here. As we look at our forecast, 82 today, 83 in some areas there with a low of 64 tonight. 76 tomorrow as we will get that rain chance. No threatening weather, though, with that, with a 50% chance of showers. We'll get into Thursday, and rain quits for that. But look at this. As the weekend approaches, we do have rain in the forecast. We'll see it on Friday with a 60% chance, and as you'll see, thunderstorms popping up in the forecast. High of 54, and that'll happen on Saturday as well, a high of 73. And Sunday, as it decreases down to a 20% chance of rain, we'll see 75. So that's turning out to be the better of the 2 days of the weekend. But as we go back to work, we got a 50% chance of rain on Monday. Does it hold on into the forecast past that? Well, it certainly does. We see that Tuesday the 5th, we've got at least a 44% chance of showers. A slight break there on the 6th, and then rain showers, slight chances every day all the way through the 12th. So if your yard has not grown grass yet, get ready. It's coming. This little bit of rain and these warm temperatures are going to make it, well, jump. I'll keep that in mind. Let's talk about fishing forecast today. How is it? Let's see. Chet tells us as we head out today, the major time will be this afternoon around 2:30. Be there by 2 o'clock. Get set up with your fishing pole. You'll be ready all the way through about 4:30 this afternoon. Now, again, we remind you it's windy. Gusts of 35 to 40 miles an hour today. Sustained winds could be 20 to 25. So that's in store for us. It's going to be bad out there. Watch what you do, but the weather is going to be perfect. We're looking at 83, so the breezy weather, you'll be able to wear a short sleeve shirt and do what you like. Great weather in store for us. Now, as we mentioned, Sheriff Ward Calhoun is going to be joining us this morning. Comes in at 7 o'clock for the show. I hope you'll be here with us. We'll learn a lot. The last time, and we'll bring that up to him, he was running for sheriff asking for your vote. He's got it now. We'll see what's going on at the Sheriff's Department. All that's coming up this morning at 7 here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.